Breaking news, the Braves have signed Reynaldo Lopez to a 3-year contract, and this is exactly the type of signing that we've been waiting for, even going back to last year at the trade deadline. One thing that I say always, and this is just facts, plays in October. We saw it with the Phillies and how many guys, they just had guys coming out 5th, 6th, 7th inning, throwing 100-mile-per-hour darts. Hey, for one inning, it's really hard to catch up to that. Getting guys that can throw high velocity in the later innings plays in October. This is exactly what Reynaldo Lopez is. We're talking about a guy who had a 2.77 ERA after the trade deadline when he was dealt to the Angels. He throws over 100 miles per hour. We actually saw him. I don't know if Braves fans remember it, but we saw him after he was traded to the Angels. He throws absolute BBs to the catcher's mitts. 2.76 ERA last in 2022. So this guy, when you talk about the Braves bullpen now, hopefully Tyler Matzik can come back. Hopefully Dylan Lee can come back. Those were not necessarily sure things, but you got A.J. Minter, you got Pierce Johnson, you got Joe Jimenez, you got Rafael Iglesias, and now you got this guy, Reynaldo Lopez. I mean, this is now a group that I think is pretty much – they're going to add some guys with options and stuff that they can pull up and down. But this group is pretty much set in stone, and I feel very confident that this will be one of the best bullpens in baseball next year and be a huge weapon for the team when it really matters in October.
Yeah, and Aaron Bummer's there too. Obviously not the caliber of guy that Lopez is, but in terms of upside, his peripherals are very encouraging, and he's a lefty that the unit itself absolutely needed, because you don't want to necessarily count on Matzik and Dylan Lee coming back from injury themselves, one surgery. So this is a great move. It's something that you and I have been talking about at length, that in terms of value, dollar to WAR, it's not going to make a ton of difference in the regular season, which is what Anthopoulos kind of has been his MO, where it's like, how do these dollars directly translate to wins above replacement? And it's a great way to operate when you're building a roster. In fact, you can see it. He just built one of the greatest regular season teams that we've ever seen. 205 wins the past two seasons, or 206 wins the past two seasons. And listen, we've been bounced in the NLDS in back-to-back years by the Phillies. And I think that you're seeing Alex Anthopoulos is kind of going away from that traditional value money to WAR. And he's kind of saying, what is going to play in October? Overkilling the bullpen. It's something that you and I, especially me, have been talking about. Like, even if you feel comfortable, no, go out and just overkill it, because it's going to show up in October in spades. No, this contract is not going to pay for itself in the regular season, unless he's just, the dominant closer that he's not going to be. The fact of the matter is he's going to show up in October when we need him most, and that's what the Braves are concerned with. The roster, as even before this move, as currently constructed, was likely to win the division, sniff 100 wins. But what were we going to do to get over the hump in October? And I think you're seeing the fruits of that labor, especially Anthopoulos is just making all the right moves, pushing all the right buttons. We saw the Nola offer, $160 million. He is not. We are spending big. I've said it. I think you could take it to the bank. We're going to get a frontline-esque starter, whether it's via trade, whether it's free agents like Sonny Gray. I think that you're seeing that Alex Anthopoulos is writing the checks that, all these Braves fans for what seems like forever consistently think the Braves don't spend money. Now you're seeing it firsthand.
Yeah, and we can credit Alex Anthopoulos for going out and get these guys, but we really got to give a credit to
Liberty Media
for going out there and spending consistently. I mean, this is going to be by far the highest payroll that we've ever had, if we indeed do land that frontline starter that we all expect. But I think this can pretty much put that's enough patching up to the bullpen. I think we've got basically all we need. I mean, you add a few more guys that can bounce up and down in case injuries arise. And Alex Anthopoulos is a wizard at finding guys for $1 million that turn out to be superstars. Think Tyler Matzik, think Michael Tonkin. There's a long list of relievers that he's gotten that were poo-poo for another team and turn out to be studs for the Braves. So a couple more guys like that, that's what you can look added to the bullpen. Look for a frontline starter, look for some bench things, see if they do anything in left field. But you're absolutely right. The spending this year is going to be significantly higher than it was last year. And last year they were the 8th highest payroll. I think we can expect to approach into the top 5. And by next year, the year after, I think you can start thinking about the Braves as the top 5 payroll. So all those narratives of the past about the Braves not spending, those are exactly that. They are a thing of the past, and that should be exciting for all Braves fans because they're trying to win now, and with money, they can be dangerous. That wraps up our show for this evening. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow.